Okay, I was just going through some old photos and Jamie's sleeping on the couch, so I have to be quiet. But this is old skateball when I picked it up originally, whatever, a couple years ago. I'd have to find a timestamp somewhere, but so that's me picking it up. And then let's see. When my Tron Pro, I was modding the crap out of it. Look at that. Adding some cool LEDs to these Cora car. Anyway, let's stay on track here. Okay, so that looks like getting skateball into the basement. Here's what it looked like. Pretty rough. Oh, that's the original wear spots that I touched up. See the lane guides? They were not all red Bally stamped like I have now. Here's drop targets. Look, so wrong. And then, there's me touching up the wear spots and stripping the play field. Don't ask what that is, but yes, that is Nightmare Before Christmas. Mark and City's creation. Then you can see the new drop targets, new plastic set. Here's me tearing apart. Look, there's the after, there's the before. Was when I did all the drop target banks and adding the keychain. Some more drop target work. You can see it had some more incorrect and broken drop targets. There's all the lane guides replaced with the Bally stamped ones. I remember I said I thought I touched up the spinner. There it is. Little primer, little paint, and there's the new pop bumper caps I was talking about. The new coin door sticker. I know my work. What I didn't remember is that looks like here that I used some super clean to clean these rollover targets. Nowadays I would just replace them. I don't know how I even remove them. Usually have to clip the little leg in order to remove them. So looks like I cleaned them. And then the new lamp driver board. I don't know what this switch matrix, what game is this for? Right middle SU VUK. Oh, that must have been Attack from Mars. So anyway, there it is in the lineup. Oh my god, look at that. It's in the exact same spot now as it was back in the day. Actually, technically it's one spot closer to the stairs. That is where it is right now. But there it is. I guess that's the finished product. There's my old Trident. But, yeah, so just kind of stumbled across those photos. It's pretty cool to revisit my kind of original shop job. But yeah, it looks pretty good there. And it looks pretty much just as good now. Just got 1,000 more plays on it, but I'll give her a play test tomorrow. We'll check it out tomorrow. All right, good night. Well, I haven't seen this side of the playfield in quite some time, but check it out. My drop targets are all happy now. And they all go down. Beauty. So, last thing is flippers, but not doing that tonight. Going to do other fun stuffs, but this mission is accomplished. Alright, let's get back to work on skateball here. First of all, we need light. Okay, so I noticed the sounds are not... By the way, the reason I have this card out is because I was measuring it, because Henry, shout to the mother effing out, was looking for skateball apron cards to make me, but guess what? They don't exist. So he is custom making me some amazing skateball apron cards. So that's why that was out, so I could measure it. It's 5.5 by 3.25, just so you know, if you need to know. All right, so, oh yeah, also found this in the bag of goodies that I'm keeping. An extra head bolt, I only have 2 in there now, and an extra center target in case it breaks. But it's the new plastic, and it's made out of good material, probably Lexan or Pet G or whatever, so got a sparesy. So that stuff goes in the machine, which I gave a nice little vacuum to last night, and I already cleaned it first time round. Adjusted the tilt bob too because it was hanging low. Matt McGoffin, you're cheating. I'm deleting your high score. There's almost no tiltage going on there. Just kidding, brother. Okay, so what I have noticed, and maybe you did too, when we first, like in one of the previous videos, I just got distracted because it's a tiny little nick in the new plastic, which doesn't please my eyeballs. I could put a little piece of Mylar under there to prevent further wear, but even with this Lexan washer elevating the height of this plastic, I'm still surprised that the metal gate had kind of got a little piece of that, and a ball coming through at high speed, maybe I don't know. Anyway, so sound was my issue. So we start a game. Wasn't really an issue, I just didn't like it. All right, so here, hear that? What the hell? That is chime simulation sound. I don't want that. And there's no background noise. And I was certain when I had this before, there was background noise and there wasn't chime noise. So I pulled up the information. Sound option. Check it out. 0 is, we got playfield switches associated chimes with the background. So chimes and background. That's not what we got. Number 1. I gotta come down here. I'm in my own way. Playfield switches without background. Noises without background. We don't have that. Most scoring will have chime effect. Most scoring. See, not all. That was not a chime effect when I knocked those down. And number 3, most all scoring will have a noise effect with background. So that's what I want. And that is setting number 18. So let's see if Matt, maybe he decided to change it. Oh, my interlock coil was getting a little loud there, and it was causing my display to flicker a little bit. Well, I know the solution to that. I'm going to cut this out of the circuit because this is to prevent you from putting in quarters during a game. A, it gets loud, and B, it just randomly caused my displays to flicker when it got a little buzzy. So a lot of the times, a lot of people disable this coil. It's totally not needed, especially in a home environment. And if it's going to be a potential cause for issues and buzzing noises, then we get rid of it. So, you know what? How many volts is this? Probably a lot. Doing this live might give me a zap. Hopefully not. Ah, yeah, I say scary. That's pinball shenanigans. Probably. Uh-oh. Probably because I did this touch. Okay, let's just not touch anything to anything else. I knew that was going to be a little bit sketchy. Let's bend that over for now so it doesn't touch anything. Oh, pinball shenanigans. Living up to my name yet again. Okay, that issue is resolved. If this metal touched anything else and shorted itself, I might have blown the transistor, but I doubt it. And even if I did, it's not required now because we don't need this anymore. So I'll just tuck this out of the way. I'll deal with that after. I'll tape it. Oh, that reminds me, I got to fix that pop bumper light. Oh, look, it's working now. It wasn't working yesterday. Now it is. But I'm going to go remove this cap and clean the socket and just adjust it, tighten it, make sure that's okay. Okay, where were we? We were going to setting number 18. Display test. They're all working perfectly. There's a solenoid, so one of these will not make a knocking noise anymore. 12. So 12 was the interlock coil, and that is no longer a part of things now, so we don't need it. Okay, that was sound test, and here's switch test. Now we get into the settings. Looks like Matt's high score is 3.8 million. 6.8 million? 3.1 million? What are those, the replay values? Those are all not... You know, I should clear out all the memory off this CPU. Do you know how to do that? Let's show you. Hold on one moment. Actually, you know what? There's a really cool trick I forgot about. Is that there's a reset button on the CPU that will clear off this information. But also, Bally realized that it's kind of inconvenient for operators, so what they did, and I had it on hot dogging, is one of the coin switches will often, gonna make me look like a shenanigander again, I bet you. One of the coin switches, if you hit the coin switch and pull that down, come on. That one is not working. Maybe this guy? Come on, baby. Yes, look at that. I knocked the coin switch down and it cleared the setting. So, it saves me from removing the back glass and also going to this button, then going to that button, then going to this button. So now I can advance to whatever setting that is. Number 6. We don't know what that is, but now I just got to hit the coin switch again and watch. The coin switch, boom, gone. 7. Okay. So I'll do the rest of this off camera because that's boring. 44, that's probably like an audit, like, I don't know, how many tilts or something. 9, who knows what that is. 10, who knows what that is. 11. Oh, Matt, sorry, that 9 million might have been your high score. Sometimes this is good to just clear the memory on the CPU. Well, we're getting close enough to 18 now that 17, I don't even know what these are. Hey, come on. It's not letting me clear it, so maybe I can't clear the, because that's a setting, that's not like an audit. Okay, so 18 is on 0. So now to change that, I hit the start button. 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Why the hell? There's no way. There's not even a 5, 6, 7 option. So it makes me wonder if there's something fishy going on here. So it was on 0, which is playfield switches, associated chimes with background. Well, we didn't have background, that's for sure. But I wouldn't have set it at 0 when I sold this thing, because that's background is awesome. Gotta have background sound. So now we keep cycling through. That resets the whole game. There we go. I remember that. Now, let's start a game and see what happens. Now, okay, start button. Oh, how about some credits? Yeah. Ooh, that sounds fun. Ooh, one swipe of the credit switch gives like 3 credits, so I got up to 40 credits in a hurry, so that's pretty cool. Those are the dip switch settings on the CPU. Alright, so let's see what happens. There's my background sounds. Now, let's see if I got rid of these chimes. There we go. That's more like it. I think I need to adjust this flipper. It seems like way too low. It's not aligned to the hole in the playfield. That should be an easy fix though. It is. But here we go. That's more like it. Okay, so I'm going to deal with the wire. Check all the pop bumper sockets. And what was the other thing? There was something else. Oh, the flipper. Yeah, I gotta deal with the flippers. Okay, so I'll do that and then I'll report back. Oh, here's our little touch up there. It kind of looks meh, but I guess it's better than bare wood, right? So I can live with it. Yay, we've got our background sounds back. We're skateballing on the water again. Okay, check this out. I am having some weird display issues, and that is not tied to the interlock coil whatsoever. I didn't think it was. So we have 2 separate issues. Actually, the only issue with the interlock coil on the coin door was just that it was buzzing. But at the same time, the displays were glitching. So I thought maybe they were related, but they are not. So what I have to do is search the schematics and find which connector is responsible for this and address it. I think it might be on the power supply, which means it might be new power supply time because I've got stuff hardwired out of there. I don't know if you saw the previous video, but I'll see if I can show you again. Matt never mentioned that issue, but so I'm guessing it's fairly new, but look, this is normal. All these are hardwired directly to the power supply, which makes for great contact. And J1 is got its own little homemade connector here. So just have to remember, like J1, one of them is to the playfield, one of them is to the head, one of them is to the body cabinet, something like that. We'll pull up the schematics and take a close look, see what we can figure out here. Okay, so I got the schematics out. Here's the solenoid driver schematics. And then I've got the values for all the test points on the solenoid driver and the rectifier board. So the first thing we have to do is check all the test points on the power supply and confirm whether that is okay or not. Problem is that the displays are currently working. So maybe it seems like when they warm up a little bit, they look a little flickery on camera, but they're actually okay. So it does appear as though when I turn the machine off and on, maybe that's when the issue presents itself. But first thing, check all the power supply voltages, see if they check out, and then move on to the solenoid driver voltages and see if they check out. The displays are currently looking fine, so that means I imagine all these voltages are probably going to be okay. But I'm starting to think that maybe it's the high voltage section which is responsible for the displays. But if they're working okay, then I don't imagine I'll see anything bad. But I'll have to try and catch them in the act, and when they are acting up, these two test points here, number 2 and number 1, those are the high voltages. Don't touch those with your fingies. Let's see, solenoid driver, test point 1 and 2. Is that what I said? 2 and... But solenoid driver, we're looking at 190 volts for test point 2, and 4 is 230. Those are the high voltages. So we can test those now. Set our multimeter to DC voltages, tie in our ground, our black lead to the ground, and then we need test point 4 is 230 voltages. So that's this guy here. You're supposed to do this with your your hand in your back pocket so you don't die. Or just be very careful. Okay, what does that say? 240 voltages. 240 volts, so that's actually fine. And then test point 2 should be 190. What do we got here? 175. I think that's fine. I think. There is a little potentiometer there, and I think if I turn that up, will it turn up the test point number 2? Well, let's find out. That's scary. Let's not use our fingies for that. Let's grab a screwdriver. Preferably not an all-metal one. I have one there, but whatever. Okay, so let's turn this up a smidge. Okay, let's see how that affected our voltages. This was like 175, right? So it's now, oh, look at that. 190, bang on. And now let's check. This is supposed to be 230. So did I turn that one up as well? That is at 242. So I think that's actually okay. So maybe test point 2 just needed a little bit of, maybe I just need a little extra juice here. So that might be okay. So I will keep an eye on that next time I turn on this machine cold and see if the display does its thing. But I think once it's warmed up, it's kind of fine, but I'll take one more look. See what happens here. I imagine this will just look fine and dandy. Yeah. Come to think of it, it almost did look like the displays just weren't getting enough juice, didn't it? Because they were all being affected. So maybe the problem is solved. So I'll keep troubleshooting. Okay, firstly, I remember why I put a little bit of Mylar over top of that hole now. It's because I remember the ball used to actually get stuck and rest right in that little groove where, look at that, it can still do it. A little bugger. But it's probably a lot better than after installing that Mylar. And check this out. 2 of my pop bumper lights are flaky, but looks like I installed a wedge style there socket, and that's probably why that one's good, because it has better fitment. These guys, maybe a couple years ago, I wonder, is the top loose on the LED?
Come on. I'd like to remove you, please, but interesting. It seems as though I cannot remove the bulb. The base is in there good, but the top is turning. So it's in there good. Why are you being flaky then? Okay, this one I can remove. Did I clean? Yeah. Looks like I took a Dremel to the inside of that. So I'm gonna deal with these guys, make sure they're all solid, and then keep on troubleshooting more shit. Alright, a fresh Dremel brush in the sockets, and a little squeezy of the sockets for tightenings. Then we've got success. So that's done. Okay, I think I figured out the flipper issue. I haven't resolved it yet, but check this out. If you hold the flipper bat in place, and then, I don't think I have enough hands to demonstrate this, but let's see. Can you see? Take a look right here at this post. Okay. Do you see that post moving? See, look, sometimes, see, that's moving, the whole crank, but I can spin the flipper shaft a little bit without turning the crank. So it just means my set screws are loose, so I'm gonna align that, tighten it up, and boom, another problem solved. Okay, the displays were doing the funky thing again, so I pulled out a different solenoid driver. My notes say that this was in a Fireball Classic I had, and then it's probably okay, July 2020. I remember pulling it out of the Fireball Classic. I forget why now. But I remember afterwards concluding that I think whatever issue I was having was not the solenoid driver board. So, well, we're going to find out. So what I did was, this looks like a relatively modern replacement for this, I think it's C23 capacitor. So I'm okay with that. And I did a few upgrades to the board. These are recommended. This is a jumper from test point 1 to test point 3. They're both 5 volts, and it helps you stabilize those 5 volts. This is a jumper from the negative side of the capacitor to ground, just to stabilize that connection. This is the other capacitor negative leg to ground. So those 3 are done. Reflowed the headers, and we're going to stick this in and then see if our display issue goes away. Okay, I think I'm wrapping it up for the night. Still having the intermittent display issues. Right now it looks like they're flickering, but they're actually perfectly fine. But when they do flicker, I can't show you anyway because it always looks like they're flickering. Anyway, I still have to kind of work on that. Just doing a little bit of play testing. My flippers are happy now. Nice and aligned. And yeah, so I gotta wrap this up. And before I go, I got the glass on just so it's not quite as loud. But I'll try and do a quick little demonstration here. This ain't gonna go very well. Well, first of all, let's zoom out. And then that'll make life a little bit better. I'm gonna do an official gameplay video at some point. I'm gonna work out any... oh shit. Work out any gremlins that may pop up. Other than flickering displays, don't think there's anything on the to-do list, but you know, once a good amount of play testing has been done, I'm sure I might find some more, oh boy, issues, but hopefully not. And if so, nothing too major. We'll fix whatever friggin' issue there is. That is what I do and I must do for reliability. But yeah, so this is just basically a little teaser. I will, like I said, do a full official gameplay video at some point, but that's it for tonight, boys and girls. Thanks for watching.